Everyone, the name's Dash, and I'm here to talk about the Suicide Squad. And this time it's gonna be a spoiler-free. Yes, this is gonna be my first spoiler-free video. So let's see how this goes, man. I hope I accidentally don't spoil anything. Hopefully something doesn't like come out of my tongue that was supposed to be spoilers. So I'm gonna do my best here. So let's get started without any further ado. So first thing first, this movie was worth a watch. I'm telling you, this was worth a watch. A total blast, to say the least. And this was just the least. There's a lot more in this movie that's like just totally worth it. It's gonna make your mind blow away once you watch it. And speaking of this movie, and the reason why this movie was worth a watch was because of the director in particular. Of course, the actors were great; they performed very well. I'm going to dive into that after a while. But the director, he was just awesome. And if you don't know the director of this movie, the name of the director is James Gunn. And if you know whether you know this or not, he was also the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm pretty sure many of you may have watched it because it's a Marvel movie. Marvel movies are just really popular. And first of all, the action scenes of the movie were like the best part of this movie, in my opinion. They're like well placed and paced. At the same time, they're like balanced out quite well. That way, like you don't have so many action scenes. That way, like you're not overwhelmed with action scene. And whenever there were action scenes, they were very well made and satisfying. That way, the quality was better than the quantity. It's like, so what I'm trying to say, quality over quantity, which is a good thing. And it really reminded me of those cool action scenes from both the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Just very similar in a way, but with different characters. Speaking of characters, they were really fun and improved too. And two particular characters that were improved were Harley Quinn and Rick Flag. Because these two characters from the previous movie, they were quite interesting, but really not there yet. But here they they take them to the next level in a way. In fact, beyond the next level too. Not just with their their action scenes, but also like with their chemistry too. Like they both have better chemistry this time. Like in the previous movie, the 2016 Suicide Squad movie, they, I mean, whenever they would talk to each other, they were like quite mad with each other. They didn't really get along with each other, and the conversations weren't engaging at all. But here they were, and you find out when you watch it. And speaking of great chemistry, two other characters, Idris Elba as Bloodsport and John Cena as Peacemaker. They had quite a hilarious chemistry in my opinion. And of course, these two are like the craziest characters in terms of action. They're like very good with handling guns. You're gonna find out once you watch it. And speaking of John Cena's Peacemaker, sorry, this is my last time I'm gonna use the expression speaking of, but his character, I think he did a great job with his character. Like the character itself was well used, and especially the plot twist towards the end, which you'll find out what happens, kind of like defines his character very well. And it just in my opinion, I thought that like the plot twist was like a great way to show what his character truly means, or what his character truly is. And the character I'm talking about is John Cena's Peacemaker. It was interesting. You'll find out. And there are also two post credit scenes too. One was a, well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you're gonna find out like what happens in the post credit scenes. Some very interesting details. And also the villain. I have to talk about the villain. I was very surprised to see a giant starfish whose name is actually Starro, who's actually a comic book super villain as well. I never expected, a villain like that, a super villain like that, to appear on the big screens, live action big screens. Because I only thought it's good. A character like that would be good for cartoons only. Because I remember seeing seeing Starro in the Justice League animated series once. But then other than that, I never saw Starro in, whether it be the big screens or small screen. But this was my second time seeing Starro, and I think he was well used, and especially the way the Suicide Squad teams up together, great teamwork when they had to fight against Starro. Another great character was King Shark. I think King Shark would be like the equivalent to Killer Croc from the previous Suicide Squad movie, but King Shark was far better. Nunawe, I think that's the name, right? Yeah, great. I mean, like as a character, he doesn't have much dialogues, but then like his actions, like again, like just like other characters, his actions were also pretty interesting. But he like the more powerful character because he's actually a shark. And I have to say though, there's some characters which I just really felt sad to see die, and I'm not gonna tell you which characters die. You see that for yourself. But some of them I just really wanted to see more of. I really wish like they could have lived so I could see more of in the future movies. But unfortunately they died. And some of them, I just really felt sorry for. I just like asked my question like, why did they have to die? Because I mean, they were like innocent, not exactly innocent, but like they weren't really superpower beings. They weren't meta humans. So I felt like why did they have to get killed like that? Like by people like who are way more powerful than him. It just felt sad that way. And just to wrap this up, I have to say that this movie, it is a very good thing that this movie was a rated R movie, because I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much as I did if it weren't a rated R movie. Because the action scenes, if they weren't rated R, we couldn't have gotten to see the action scenes they showed. And also we wouldn't also have like the kind of dialogues they had in the movie if it weren't for the movie to it weren't for the movie being a rated R movie. So it was a good thing. It was a great movie to be rated as R, or to be R rated. And I think it will definitely it will definitely be worth your time. So go watch it if you haven't watched it yet. And until next time, I'll see you.